No. Greetings of the day. I am Narayan Prasad Padhi, working as Institute Chair and Senior Professor at IIT Roorkee. Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts on power system flexibility in accelerating the adoption of renewables. Integrating very high level of renewables is probably one of the greatest challenges for a decarbonized power system in the coming years, and will require significant progress in a number of technological areas. Today, I would like to present to you where we are going or we are heading and some of the key issues on local power balancing for advancing power system flexibility. Renewable energy, so-called expected to be clean energy, is at the center of the transition to a less carbon intensive and more sustainable energy systems. Due to the environmental degradation and increasing energy demand, it is very necessary for us to think about the alternative energy resources, the significant advantages accompanying renewable energy sources is the key factor for rapid growth in investment as well as development of smart grid technologies. Renewable energy sources are integrated at the distribution network level in a distribution framework. For the effective utilization of these renewables, demand-supply balance is required at distribution network level, which is popularly known as the local power balancing. Renewable generation is increasing rapidly in India, but since last decade, almost we are very keen to proceed or to move towards more renewable integration to the Indian grids. But even though we are still lag behind in supplying electric demand through renewable, which is very close to 10 to 13% of the total energy demand or energy consumption today. Still, electricity generation is dominated by the fossil fuels, due to which carbon emission and global warming are continuously increasing, as told by most of the researchers working in this field. Government of India, however, taken major steps, very wonderful initiatives, and made impressive progress in recent years in increasing citizens' access to electricity. It has also successfully implemented a range of energy market reforms and carried out a huge amount of renewable deployments, notably in solar energy. Looking ahead, the government of India has also laid out an ambitious plan or vision to bring secure, affordable and sustainable energy to all its citizens. The Ministry of Power produces a national electricity plan every 5 years, in which it reviews the progress made over the previous 5 years and set out a detailed action plan for the next 10 years with the overreaching aim of achieving universal access to electricity across India and ensuring that power is supplied efficiently and at reasonable cost. However, achieving the dream of clean energy for sustainable development disrupts the operation and management of our legacy power grid due to lack of flexibility when higher share of renewables are integrated into the system. Just to be very precise, especially due to the huge amount of renewable integration, the base and the thermal, coal, nuclear power plants do face a great challenge to adapt, with the intermittent regeneration and its penetration to the grid. So I think this is the future where we need to promote renewable as well as we have to encourage flexibility to accommodate those huge amount of penetration into the conventional grid through renewables. The intermittent nature of renewable will cause reliability and interoperability issues when connected to the existing power network. To address the challenges related to the integration, operation and management of renewable-based power generation, flexibility is needed in different segments of the power system. Mainly, these segments are transmission flexibility, distribution flexibility, storage flexibility, market flexibility, etc. And the diagram very clearly talks about different domains of flexibility, and we can utilize those domains for overall flexibility options, which can be you know extracted to achieve or to make the system more flexible in nature. In general, the flexibility can be defined as the ability of a generating unit to change its output, ramp up or down rapidly, start and stop with short notice, and achieve a low minimum turndown level. At the transmission level of flexibility, options have been researched well and established. However, at the distribution level, flexibility option is an ongoing research and not well established. This demands exploring the role of localized power balancing for advancing the power system flexibility, and probably during my end of lecture, I will try to demonstrate two case studies how flexibility can be exercised through both simulation platforms as well as hardware test beds. Moving to local power balancing, with the inclusion of heterogeneous sources like PV, wind, along with other renewables and fossil fuel sources, the coordination and its control will be a challenging task, and the need for local balancing will increase manifold. Local power balancing aids in upscaling the renewable energy generation, provides solutions such as storage integration and demand response, helps to reduce transmission and distribution losses, and ensuring reliable power supply to its customers. The responsibilities of local power balancing are taken by the following tools and operations. Demand response is the ability to set demand according to the power generation, helps in peak energy management. Microgrid technologies helps in effective utilization of renewable energy sources through better operation and management capabilities, which improves the reliability and resiliency of the power system. Storage integration. Storage system provides flexibility through the peak management of electricity demand by effective utilization of local energy generations, especially through renewables. Aggregators. Aggregators allow small consumers to participate in electricity market, provide energy to wholesale market and ancillary service to the grid operators. Electric vehicles. EV charging and discharging in coordination with the grid operation helps in mitigating curtailment of renewables. TSO-DSO integration. Effective coordination of TSO-DSO provides opportunities for the DER operators to manage their resources according to wholesale electricity market. Now, when we talk about major challenges in the area of local power balancing, these are the following, points need to be given a lot of attention, and they are aggregation of different resources, coordinated control of heterogeneous sources, price decision making, optimal placement and sizing, flexibility and time of availability of the resources, ramp rate limit to maintain the stability while balancing. With the inclusion of heterogeneous sources like PV, wind, along with other renewables and fossil fuel sources, the coordination and its control will be a challenging task, and the need for local balancing will increase manifold. And finally, inertia emulation to play an important role in local power balancing. Demand-side management adjusts electrical loads in customers' premises with respect to time and amount of their use, helping electricity utility to decrease its peak demand and thereby redistribute the load of the system. This aids to reduce the huge gap between peak demand and the available generation of energy during peak period. The scenarios may not be same across the globe, but specific to developing countries like ours, this play a very important role to flatten the load characteristic of this developing nation like India. DC microgrid provides a viable and more effective operation to cater for DC loads in the building space and data centers. In the work zone, you could see that the demand side management, which has been carried out in an AC network, integrated with a DC microgrid, is investigated for flattening the load curve and explore opportunities associated for utilities to optimize industrial demand response for smart AC and DC microgrid environments, thus facilitating distribution utilities to reduce its peak energy on the existing AC distribution system. So what I wanted to perhaps emphasize is that because of the DC microgrid, the AC microgrid could experience a flat load curve due to the variable loads that can be achieved with the help of microgrid, DC microgrid environment. A load scheduling DSM strategy is proposed to shift all controllable AC loads of industrial customers at different hours of the day while DC loads continue to receive power from the DC microgrid so as to reduce peak demand of the overall distribution system. DSM techniques objective could be maximizing the use of renewable DC sources, minimizing the power taken from the existing AC distribution grid, and reducing the system peak load demand. Indian power system is in developing state where there is an energy deficit, though it is almost the demand and the generations are close to each other. It is less than 1%, but still we do experience a bit of energy deficit during peak hours. Hence, in this paper or the article that you could see in the further references, where industrial AC loads are considered for scheduling as per the time of the day tariff so that consumption of the power will be reduced during peak load periods. It is an energy scheduling approach based on fixed TOD tariff. This fixed TOD tariff is issued by the Regulatory Commission, as we so-called state electric regulations, having discussion with the distribution utilities, and these are declared to the customers in advance by the utility so that they can extract its benefit by running their loads to low TOD tariff. Most of the industrial AC loads of the system under study are running in shifts. It is quite possible to schedule the loads during low energy cost period. Hence, the aim of the proposed optimization technique is to bring the final load curve as close as possible to the predefined target load curve of the system. The results shows the effectiveness of the DC microgrid in achieving better peak load reduction in an AC network with demand side management. As you could clearly see that because of the microgrid, almost the peak demand reduced close to 19%, and because of the microgrid enabled storage system. But if you do not have battery storage system, then still we are able to manage close to 13% of load reduction. Also, the DC microgrid helps to flatten the load curves by reducing the peak and filling the valley of forecasted load curves. So it is absolutely clear, that with this DC microgrid enabled AC system, we can certainly achieve peak reduction, and probably that can help to delay your expenditure or investment to power utilities to put more energy into the system. Or perhaps actually this could be a good strategy to encourage microgrid integrated AC systems to probably able to reduce your peak requirements and flat the load curve. Now we are going to look at some of the hardware testbed implementations based on the previously discussed ideas, that by integrating DC microgrids, probably the peak energy requirement of AC microgrids got reduced, because DC microgrid is considered to be a kind of flexible entity which can help to shift the loads from off-peak to peak hour. And recently the DC microgrids are flourishing due to their compatibility with renewable power and simpler control architecture for better energy security and reliability. However, The energy management scheme at the heart of the operation of a microgrid and a 10 kilowatt DC microgrid test bed for addressing the challenges in its operation and management is set up at the admired lab of IIT Roorkee, and the physical system is really giving a lot of enthusiastic results, which really proves that the DC microgrid enabled AC microgrids, perhaps both together, can certainly reduce the peak requirement, uh, considering the flexibility options available to me within the microgrids, especially due to storage and other devices. The notable features of the test beds are grid interactive DC microgrid systems comprises of rooftop PV connected to DC microgrid through unidirectional boost converters. Grid side converters is connected between the utility grid and DC microgrid through a transformer for transmitting the power to utility grid and vice versa. Battery systems like lead acid, and currently we are attempting towards lithium ion, and alter capacitors are adapted as storage system. Loads are categorized into two types, especially essential loads and non-essential loads. To minimize the stress on the utility grid by adopting effective energy management schemes for DC microgrids is proposed in this work. The energy management scheme was tested on the testbed, as I mentioned, in the admired lab, which is a purely smart grid lab at IIT Roorkee, for peak hours, off-peak hours, and isolated mode of operation, along with other scenarios, including variation in renewable power specific to PV powers. We can just look at this, the results details where we can see that, the amount of net peak reduction on the utility using the proposed scheme. And the work done shows the effectiveness of the energy management scheme as compared to previous work in maintaining effective local power balance along with better net peak reduction on the distribution grid. So this is quite evident, this microgrid environment certainly helps in reducing the peak demand requirement, and perhaps actually the flexibility is more when you keep on integrating microgrids into your distribution systems. Thank you all for your patient hearing, and I will be very happy to receive some of your valuable feedbacks and inputs to improve our current activity on flexibility research work at Admire Lab of IIT Roorkee. Thank you very much.